So basically, I kind of wanted to start doing these monthly Zoom calls just for our team because I find that it's all great, and Lindsay has done Team Balance Zoom call for our whole team. But because I find that we have so many people on Team Balance now that are new, that are trying to go to Q, trying to go to NMD, that there's a lot of information put on to that 30 minutes, and it's a lot, can be overwhelming. So my kind of goal for these calls is to kind of make it a little bit more where I can get to know you guys can get to know me, and where I can kind of figure out where you're struggling, why you're struggling, if you are, and what kind of things that we can do to help. So that's kind of my idea. I'm going to try it monthly, and it's probably going to be the beginning of the month because that's usually when everything's up and running. We're trying to have goals and hit promotions. So I'm going to try to do it kind of the beginning of every month and see how it goes. If we need to do them sooner, we can, or if we need to do more personalized ones, we can do that as well. The one thing I wanted to touch on was the pod calls. So I know all you three that are on here right now are on the pod calls, which is great. The idea of the pod calls is for us to connect with other team members that are kind of going through the same goals and promotions. And those are run every week. So there's going to be a lot going on for the next little while that the calls are really super important. So really picking which ones you need to come on to. Team Balance, of course, is on the Monday night, and then your pod call every week. The pod calls are not going to be recorded. The reason why is that they want you to be on those calls, being invested and kind of learning and doing the homework every week that they give you. So if it becomes too much for you, that's totally fine, and totally fine if you need to not go on them. But they do say, like, if you miss 3 in a row, then me as your upline is supposed to come to you and be like, hey, you haven't been coming to the call, so you either need to start coming or I have to take you off the list. So just so that you guys are aware of that, that's kind of how they want to run the pod calls, because they want to make sure that it's important for you, for them to give up their time and try to do more of the training. So that's kind of the pod calls. They're super important. So I'm happy that Rochelle and Tina are on this call, because you guys are my my SCs on my group, and then Shonda, of course, is going to be my next SC, I'm pretty sure. So so that's awesome. So with those pod calls, just make sure that you kind of try to go to as many as you can. There are going to be things that happen, but no big deal. Just do your best to go through them. And the homework is not going to be crazy. Like this week, I think everybody had the same homework. It was to book 3 events. And events can be anything, like coffee dates, having a conversation. Doesn't mean necessarily you have to have people to your house and have a big event. It's just connecting with people. So don't stress out about the doing the events or booking them. Just write them down on paper. And that's kind of the homework for that. The next one I wanted to talk to was the Zoom launch. I don't know if anybody has been on the Revolution website yet. Underneath where you go to that wheel and you log into Revolution, the script for that launch call is in there, and I've actually just read it, and I was invited to listen in on the one that Mindy and Lindsay had done last night, and I think Tina was there as well. And it's super easy. So basically, like they tell you scripts to invite people. They tell you exactly what to say. And like as your upline, I pretty much do all the talking, and I talk and I introduce you. And there's one for somebody that just started the business, and there's also one that for somebody that wants to launch your business. So like Rochelle, like you work the business and then you kind of didn't do much over the summer. You would be a good one to do the business launch, like, hey, I'm going back into this business, and you invite people to it. It's kind of like a Zoom call, and I just read the script. So like it's super easy, super duplicatable, and as you train new team members to do this, it's going to be super powerful. So people have been starting to do this and having super big results with it. So it's something that I really want to try to implement and give it a try. So basically, you just invite people, we read off our script, I introduce you, you do your quick product story, and then we kind of talk about the business, and then at the end it kind of closes, and it's really like how they tell you to invite is very casual. Come listen to my business, no obligation to buy, no, like no pressure. So I think it's going to be a great thing to try. So I would like to do that as soon as possible, to try to get a couple underneath us so that we can kind of get comfortable with the script and go forward with that. That kind of goes into the product story. So everybody has a product story that, you know, we usually, when they say tell your product story, it's like 4 to 5 minutes. We've really been working on trying to do your product story in 2 minutes. So something quick and easy, saying like, before Juice Plus, I was this, and now I'm this. Not necessarily being like, I was this, and then I'm this, and then I'm this, and then I'm this. So everybody always is worried that, oh, my why is not big enough, or, you know, but you really, your why will change as you work in this business. Same as personal development. It's not just going to come overnight. So kind of getting that product story really short and strong and powerful, and something that's meaningful for you so that you can speak from the heart. So that's kind of something that needs to happen for these launch calls, because as when I read through the script, that there's a part that says you're going to do your product story. So read through that script on there. It's super easy, so I'm super excited about that. The next one, I just wanted to go through some event dates. So everybody should have a calendar, right, that they're writing all of their life in, to try to keep it organized, because that's super important. November 7th is that storytelling workshop. I'm pretty sure that everybody's been added to it already, but you have to go to the event. There's a link in there that you have to register. It's free, but they just want you to register. I think that's going to be awesome. So that's going to really help with doing the product story and speaking very confidently about the product and the business, so that, you know, there's no stuttering. You know what you need to say, and the more that you say it, the easier it gets. The other one is Calgary Regionals has been booked for February 9th and 10th. It'll be in Calgary. It's the Friday evening and then Saturday all day training. It's also free. So that one's a really good one as well, for kind of like a mini conference, but just not as strong. And they do a lot more like training about Tower Gardens, training about how to start a new rep, all that kind of stuff. The other one is the Banff Boot Camp, which is in Banff, March 9th to the 11th. So that one's also a really good event. I think, yeah, Rochelle went to that one last year and it was good. Same thing, so they do a lot of inspiration, a lot of inspirational talks and training. The last one, of course, is Phoenix, April 26th to the 28th. So we just finalized the booking for the hotel in Phoenix, which came out to be like $120 per night, which is super, super reasonable, like cheaper than we've had in the past. So depending on how many people we come, we'll make the cost as easy as we can. We can put 4 people to a room to make the cost super, super easy. Or we can do 2 to a room. So depending on how many people we have on our team, we're going to make the cost as cheap as we can, because I want everybody we can to come, because conference is so fun and it's so exciting, and I want you guys to all experience that. So those are the big events. I think there's going to be a wine and wellness coming at the end of November. I want to say like the 22nd, I believe. We haven't put up the flyer yet to that as well. So events are always really powerful to invite people to, especially when they're like the wine and wellness, where you can just be like, hey, come out and have a glass of wine. One thing with events, though, you have to be at events when you're inviting to events. You can't invite to events when you're not going to be there. And I know things will happen and come up, but if you don't go to events, you can't expect people to come. Same with team, right? Like you can't tell your team to go to boot camp if you're not going to boot camp, because it's super important that as you grow and become a leader, you're going to be expected to participate in all those as much as you can, for mostly for your team. The other one I wanted to chat to is about training new reps. So we've done a lot of changing how we train new reps on our team. A couple things that I wanted to kind of touch on that I think if I would have known this when I first started would have changed my business completely. Really know why your new distributor is starting the business. So I asked them that question about, what do you want to get out of the business? Is it $200 a month? Is it $500? You just want the family plan and get the discount on your own product? Do you want to make it to the top? So when I asked Tina, like, what do you want out of this business? She told me right then, I want to get to NMD. I want to get to the top. So that way I know that I can invest all that time, effort, training into her, because I know that she wants it as bad as I do. You may have somebody that comes on and be like, oh, you know, I just want the family plan for now. We'll see how it goes. Those people, they still reach out to them and still give them your time, but you're not going to invest as much into them as you would somebody that wants to go to the top. So that's super important. And our Team Balance website, the www.teambalance.net, is been really, really well done on training new reps, training step by step, going through that process, which I think is really a great way to easily train new reps so that they feel that they can also train new reps. The other one that we kind of is a little bit new is doing a three-way call with your new rep. So you sign up a new rep, you go through the steps, you find out what they want out of the business, and then you say, hey, Jackie, I have a new rep. Let's do a three-way call. I get on a three-way call and I pretty much just say, have a conversation with them about how excited I am about the business, ask a few more questions about what they're thinking about getting out of the business, and just so that they have somebody that's kind of accountable for them, that this business is working and it can make money, and depending on what they want out of it, it's got a great community, and just kind of have somebody that validates it, that's kind of a third party. So that's kind of something that we're kind of implementing as well. And then we tell them our Monday Zoom call for Team Balance is on Monday nights, and then the pod call. So we talk about the 2 Zoom calls that need to happen every week, which is about an hour a week. So trying to have as a new rep, these are things that you need to do rather than you can do. Because being on those Zoom calls, you learn a lot of information, and it's a great way to meet people and kind of know your way through the business. So then we add them to the Facebook Messenger group for podcasts, and then they can just start going on those calls every week. The next thing is the promotion gifts. So as you start growing a team, there's kind of been a set guidelines that we've been kind of trying to do with the whole Team Balance. Once your new rep hits DD, we give them an audiobook for GoPro, either an audiobook or the written version, so they can read that. So once they hit DD, you say, here, this is a gift for us, with a card saying congratulations on DD, and then we gift them a GoPro book. Once they hit VF, Fast Track or otherwise, doesn't really matter, they get a $25 gift card. And then once they hit SC, they get a $50 gift card. And then once you hit SSC, you get a $50 gift card, plus you get a special Balance Builders bracelet. So those are kind of just things that are really important to, once your team is hitting promotions, that you want to congratulate them, you want to tell them that you care and how proud you are of them and that you're there for them. So just something little that kind of comes from the heart. The next one is the Omegos. So in conference, they had announced the Omegas hopefully are coming in Canada in a couple weeks. This is going to be huge for our business. So all existing customers that are on the Trio already, just adding the Omegos, and they're going to be about $34 a month, something like that, if you're going to be on the monthly, which is super reasonable. And of course, they're all plant-based, vegan. So if you go on to YouTube and you search Omegas Juice Plus, a really, really awesome Omega video pops up that you can save to your phone that you can use and try to hype people about the Omega. So hopefully they're coming in a couple weeks. For what I would like you guys to do until we speak again is practice your product story. So 2 minutes about why you take Juice Plus and what it's done for you and your family. So if it's giving you more energy, if you want to help people, if it's help with constipation, if whatever helps with your body and your family, just try to get your product story down so that if I ask you, you can just, like right now, have your product story. So kind of work on that. I would like you to book 3 events. So coffee meetings, phone conversations, 3-way calls, anything that's kind of an event, I think is super important. And this is one area that I'm not very strong in. Like, I have always worked my business on one-on-ones and coffee dates. I don't do a lot of Facebook Lives. I don't have people come to my home and do home parties because they just aren't successful for me. So you really have to find an event that works for you and that speaks for you and that you love doing. So I like to speak to people on one-on-one. That's what I'm good at, or on the phone. So I try to do that, and that's how I built my whole business. But something else might work better for you. I really want to try the launch calls. So I would like to launch all 3 of yours or anybody else that wants to on our team. So pick a day that works for you, and definitely we could do that. It's only half an hour, and most of the talking is on me. So You have to be on the call and you have to invite, but most of the work is on me until you guys feel comfortable on doing your own and doing your own for your own team members. So, so booking those events, and then I want you guys to really think about what you want out of the business. Could be short term, could be long term. Like if you want $500, you want 1,000. Like it's going to change. Like once you hit the 1,000, you're gonna be like, oh, I want 2,000. Once you hit 2,000, you want 3. But what would make it so that you can get up every morning and give that extra hour, or get on that extra Zoom call when you're tired, or listen to, you know, a Zoom call during the restaurant that you're on a date with your husband, like Shonda. So just kind of really think about what's really important to you and what you really want out of the business. And I kind of want to know that. So when you know that, just text me or let me know. And then I do want to kind of have kind of a fun way to really motivate you guys. And so the only thing I can really think about is doing some sort of prizes. Everyone loves prizes. Everybody loves competition. So last month was one of the biggest months we've ever had. Team Balance as a whole group had 105 orders, and our team had 32 of those, which is phenomenal. If you think about everybody that's on Team Balance, this team has had 32 last month, and I really want to beat that this month. So, so what I want to do is I have 4 prizes. Well, more than that, but 4 main prizes. One is going to be the most customers in the month of November. One is going to be the most reps signed up in November. The third one is going to be the most Zoom calls attended. That means our Zoom calls, Team Balance Zoom calls on Monday night, and the Zoom calls that are your podcast Zoom calls. And then the most Tower Gardens sold. Those are going to be the 4 prizes that I have. And then I also going to have extra prizes for people that are going to qualify their business this month, and anybody that reached a new promotion this month as well. So everybody on this call especially should be qualifying their business. It's a huge, big step in this company, and it's the way that you make that extra 5% commission on everything you sell and off everything that is underneath in your personal orders as well. So that's pretty much all I have. I talked really fast. I'm kind of thirsty now, but does anybody have any questions or comments or anything like that? Anybody have any goals they want to shout out right now while we're on the Zoom call? For the month of November? What was that?
Getting back in the business.
Yay! Perfect.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying out that launch business.
Yeah.
That event, I guess you were saying.
Yeah, like go on there and read it, and I think it's going to be super successful. And you can do it, like there's people that are doing these events like 2-3 times a day, because once you really get into it and get to know the script, you can just jump on and you can have 2 people, you can have 5 people, you can have 10, you can have 1, right? And once it gets really easy, you just jump on the call with another leader and you just run with it, because the script is going to be the same. So I think it's going to be powerful, and it's going to simplify things, especially for doing events from your home, which people like. Like Zoom it's awesome because you can just jump on a call with somebody. It's just like you're having a meeting face to face, but we don't have to go out in the snowstorm and all get together. Like it's amazing. So I think it's going to be super powerful. So think about days that work for you guys. I'm excited to give it a try and get rolling with it. So yeah, cool. Let you guys get on with the rest of your evening, and I will talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Jackie.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Jackie.